Alright, here's a fun game idea called Bombardment, and it's a multi-skills game, but mostly a basketball skills game for grades 3 to 7. You'll need foam footballs, bins, pins, juke ball nets, basketballs, and some items to keep score with. And if you don't have all those things, not a big deal. There are some easy substitutions. And thanks to Dan Kirsch for this idea. So you're going to use the gym and split it into two halves and use your main basketball hoops. And if you have the side hoops, you can use those too. It's not necessary, but you can. And then you're going to place down your targets. So the choke ball rebounders are great, but you can also use chairs if you want or something else. And you're also going to place down plastic pins. So those are all the targets. And you're going to have your basketball rack or your bin of balls. And you're going to have another bin of scoring items. So it could be popsicle sticks, it could be stuffies. We're going to use bean bags in this example. Then each team's going to have a scoring bin to put their scoring objects into if they get points. And then we're going to look at the teams. So one team on one half, one team on the other. They must stay on their own halves. And then you're going to have a throwing ball. So we're going to use foam footballs, but you can use dodgeballs, whatever you have. And so there are two parts. The first part of the game is the teams. So, for example, pink is going to try and throw their throwing ball to hit a target. So, whether that's a pin or whether that's the backboard or the rim of the basketball hoop, doesn't necessarily have to go in, or at the choke ball rebounder. So, those are the different targets on the side. Likewise, the blue team on that side is going to do the same thing, try and hit over a pin or hit into the hoop or against the hoop or to the rebounder. So those are the different targets. And that's the first part. So the second part is the basketball skills. So once a target has been hit, so for example, if a pin is hit, then the player who hit that pin must complete a basketball skill. So a layup, if the hoop is hit, then it's a jump shot, or if the rebounder is hit, then it's the student choice. So those are so working on the basketball skills, layups, jump shots, and some dribbling in there too. So we'll put our little table up at the top and we'll look at a quick example here. So the game's on and the pink player is throwing it and hit the rebounder. If we look at our chart, it's choice. So that player will go and grab a basketball and get to choose jump shot or layup. She chooses to take a jump shot and has missed. So whether you miss it or get it in, you have to collect that basketball, bring it back to the bin, and then she can just continue playing on. She didn't get any points, so she just rejoined the game. And meanwhile, see the blue player has thrown it and has knocked over a pin. So if we look at our chart up there, it's a layup. So that blue player must go grab a basketball and is going to try to complete a layup. And we see the blue player has done that, so has scored a point. But before grabbing a point, you have to bring the basketball back, put it into the rack, and then that player can go and grab a point, which is one beanbag, and put it into the bin. So the game goes on and on like that, and we see here 3 to 5 minute rounds, and then you'll check the scores, see which team won, and then you'll reset the pins and go again. And that's basically it. But yeah, lots of skills involved: the basketball skills, the throwing and catching, and all that sort of thing. So thanks, Dan, for this game idea. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe for more games. Visit PhysEdGames.com.